Hello parents, this is Carol Hutto, RCA science teacher, and today I wanted to give you an update on middle school science, physical science this year. So this would be for either 7th or 8th grade, and the sort of an idea of where your students should be as of the end of the quarter. So a quarterly update, I guess. So this is what the tiles look like. This is physical science for 7th or 8th. They're both the same. 8th is down here. Look exactly the same. And this is the toolkit, which was the first unit that we did, and this is this second unit that we're doing, or progression that we're doing, called Matter. And I'll go into those in just a minute, but I'd like to go and show you another view that really gives a pretty good idea of where a student is at the quarter. It's a nice place to get kind of a overview. So if we were to look at this student, this is my model student called Sister Schmo, and we're looking here under science, and we're looking at this level 8, which whether your student's in 7th or 8th grade, this year we're doing physical science, which is level 8. Next year we'll be doing life science. So you should be here, and this number becomes significant. I'll talk about that in a minute. But let's go down. If I click on that, and you'll see right here it says level 8 for Sister Schmo. So we're going to go ahead and go and see how little Sister Schmo is doing. So how do we read this? Well, if you look at this is the standard. So like develop models to describe the structure of atoms and molecules. And then here are a list of all the assignments that have been done so far in that unit, in that progression, or in that standard, I'm sorry. And here is your student's score. So this is the mass score, which this is the maximum attainable score, the highest the student could get, and this is the score they got. So obviously you want them to get the highest attainable score. You want these two to match, really. And you want these to all be pluses. So this student, little sister Schmo, she has all pluses here. And if we go on down, you see that there are more pluses in this second standard, talking about the difference between chemical and physical properties. And then more here, talking about particle motion and some other things like that. And then here we have some lab standards. These are 3 labs that the student did. This is in, move my picture again. This is engineering design. And you'll notice that this shows proficient. Well, that's because the student has done enough work at a proficient level to actually earn this standard. So they have 1 standard earned. We go down farther and we look in this area. A lot of this work was done in the toolkit. And so this standard student has all pluses here, has completed all these assignments at a proficient level, and therefore has earned this standard. And down here, same thing, student has made sufficient progress to earn a standard. So you look down here and you think, well, these are all pluses. How come we don't have those yet? Well, that's because we're still working on those standards. We're still going to have more assignments here in these areas as we go through the year. We do process standards all year long. So if they're proficient, it means that the standard is finished. And if it's blue, it's developing. It means we're still working on it. But what you really want to look at is whether or not there are pluses here. If you see anything else, you see a little squiggly mark, which is a tilde, or you see a little minus sign, or you see an M, particularly if you see an M, it means that the work is missing. The others mean that they turned it in, but it wasn't up to snuff. It wasn't proficient yet. It means they're still working on it. But if it's an M, it means that they haven't even turned it in at all yet. And that's kind of a red light, I would say. So at this moment, if we look here at the number, your student should have a 3 out of 32 if they're completely and totally up to date. So let's go back over to the tiles, the original tiles, and look at that again for just a minute. So in this view, where should your student be? Well, if we look at Toolkit, you should look across the Toolkit, and these should all have stars. There should be a star here, and there should be a star here. If we go back over to the next tiles, I have to scoot down again to, there we go, to this tile. So this was Toolkit, this is the Matter. And you'll notice that there are multiple modules within here. We have completed this one. It should have a star. Matter, states of matter should have a star. Matter, mass, volume, density should have a star. That's finished. Matter, chemical and physical change should have a star. The only thing we have left is this, and it'll be finished probably next week easily. And so once that tile is finished, then you'll see at least one more standard becoming proficient, because now we've finished um, all of the learning, all of the various pieces of that standard. So this should be done, this should be done, this should be done, and this will be doing what we'll be working on next week. And then if you look down here, this is the advanced project. So if your student is getting done early, has lots of extra time, and or just wants to work a little bit more and end up with an A on their transcript instead of a B, they could be working on the advanced project, and they're always there. It's student option though whether they do that or not. So that's pretty much where we are with middle school science, and I hope that helps. I hope that that gives you an idea of where your student should be, whether they're in 7th or 8th, and how their progress is when you see their video, see how it compares to this. So if you have any questions, send me an email and I'll get back to you. And may see, well, probably all the 7th grade families at conference. Some of the 8th graders maybe as well. So hopefully we see you before long, and talk to you later.